Time Tim.
And it's like this is like Christmas Eve for Kings fans, right? Because the season's starting tomorrow after like what felt like the longest off season ever.
Felt pretty long.
We weren't we weren't feeling super optimistic after watching the
No.
preseason. How are you feeling right now?
Definitely more optimistic, more excited about the season two, just in general.
And why is
Uh,
that?
just the way they're playing, how aggressive they've been, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Like, just in the 1-3-1,
You
lame as
don't miss the
hell.
1-3-1. See, I kind of miss the 1-3-1.
You love that really boring, clogging up the neutral zone.
No, I mean,
Just
I wasn't able to watch that many preseason games. What I saw, I thought that their forecheck looked better than it looked in like years.
yeah, exactly.
Actually pressuring the other team in their own zone. Like, imagine that, right?
Yeah, even on the penalty kill, they were aggressive. So it's
And then
pretty.
Byfield having that hat trick. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs. I don't know if I had to. Yeah, well, we won't ruin the optimism because we
yeah. I
got
don't
to.
know. I'm more confident than before preseason games started, but I
So
don't
it's
know.
building
They're
a
gonna
little
be tough,
bit. The Tim confidence meter is rising a little bit. I think mine
definitely.
is too. And I'm excited about, seeing if Pence, like, not Pence, Spence makes a leap,
Yep.
you know, seeing
hmm
what Clark does with, like,
Yep.
ice time,
Giving him good minutes.
seeing, if Byfield, is he going to, like, make another big jump?
He looks really good
Yeah.
preseason.
Because that was one of the things that we talked about in the offseason. Like, well, a lot of maybe even them making the playoffs might come down to, like, what kind of season he has. And then
Yeah.
I've always got an eye on Kopi because I'm like, Jesus, this is his 19th season. Like, is he just gonna like turn into dust out there at center ice taking a face off at some point?
He could. He could just crumble to pieces.
Kind of like he chose poorly in that Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, just blown away.
I mean, God, but if he could have like I mean, I guess there's no reason to really doubt that he can have a
Yeah, I
great
mean,
season. I mean,
he's been so good for so long. Like,
I wonder what his off-season training regimen's like. He must put in the work, right, to be so consistent.
I mean, he has to. You would think.
Or is he
He
just
actually looked
crushing blizzards at DQ all summer?
just like downing Bud Lights and smoking camels and eating hot dogs, chili dogs.
Yeah, I don't think
I mean,
so.
he never looks heavy or anything, but he actually looked like a little thinner than he
Yeah,
normally does, I think. So,
maybe he's putting in even more off-season work.
hmm
But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I hope he can do 2 more years of that or three.
yeah.
Let's get crazy.
The thing too with Byfield, it's like, people are, some people are thinking he could turn into an elite guy, you know, maybe, I don't know, but I definitely see him being like a point a game guy for sure.
That would be
You know,
awesome.
yeah, and I mean, who could, really can't ask for
Because
more.
the Kings haven't
So,
really had that in a while.
hmm hmm
Some Kopi will sometimes end up being like a point a game guy, but
Yeah, or just about same thing. If he's just about a point a game guy, that's awesome.
that yeah. So and also him winning all those face off in the preseason
Yeah,
seemed like a good
he
sign for us.
dominated.
That's really
So
cool. So we're getting set for just a ridiculous 7 game roadie because we established the other day that I think the Edmonton Oilers they wrote the Kings schedule this season, right?
yeah,
It sounds like they handed it over to Drysaitel.
if I was to hand it over to Justin, he's like, you know what? They should start Buffalo.
It's like they always suck in Buffalo. Let's start
Yeah.
out in Buffalo.
hmm
Um, so Buffalo, Boston, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal. There's that killer little Canadian Eastern Canada swing. Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal. Back on the West Coast, Ducks, and then they play Vegas. before they come back to crypto. I think their first home game is like the 24th
Oh wow.
against the Sharks. So what do you think? If we get into the prediction game, how many, what do you think the record is going to be? Think they're beating Buffalo?
It's like they always play so horrible there, but I'm actually thinking they're gonna start off right and get the win there. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, see, I feel like they're gonna win. I feel like they're gonna win. They're
Me
gonna
too. And
they're gonna beat the
it
Sabres.
it seems like normally when their first game against Buffalo in Buffalo, it's like in January or February, and like the building is just like encapsulated in ice. Like you can see it from out, and
Exactly.
it's like a noon game. You're like, yeah, these guys are they're not getting up for this one. But I
Yeah,
think they're
what?
gonna get the W.
They had to cancel some games in Buffalo not that long ago because of the snow. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
it was
dude, well,
last
yeah,
year
that's
or
what
2 years ago.
they're having like that ridiculous blizzard, and people were like
Yeah,
stranded in schools and stuff like that, right?
yeah, because I think they like the Bills couldn't even play a game, and that's usually all hell has to break loose to like cancel a
Yeah,
football game.
canceled
I mean,
football. That's true. Yeah,
so yeah, I guess they'll be there for I don't know what the weather's like in Buffalo right now, but it can't be that bad. It's like
it's probably yeah. I'm
early
sure it's not as
October.
bad as
It's probably only
mm.
like 5 below.
Exactly.
Occasional snow flurries, black eyes. So then Boston, um, what do you think? Win or lose?
That's gonna be tougher. But they beat them in preseason, right? I mean, I know it's gonna be two totally different teams, but
Yeah, and then
um,
they beat them they beat them last year towards the end of the season with that cool Clark goal out of the penalty box.
you know what? I say, okay, I'm giving them Buffalo. If they were gonna ride that momentum into Boston, they're
And
gonna get the win.
they're gonna beat the Bruins. All right, I like it. So they're 2-0 on your road trip. I got them down for a loss.
Yeah, I mean, that's
But no, so you got them 2-0. They're 1-1 with me. What about Ottawa?
see that one I was thinking they would slip up. I mean, not, you know,
They do
Ottawa.
sometimes weird stuff. They do weird
Yeah,
stuff in Ottawa, man.
yeah, exactly. I was thinking that would be a hiccup there.
See,
Do you got them?
I think they're gonna win,
Okay.
and I think they're gonna lose in Toronto just because they just seem to do weird stuff in Toronto also.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think they're gonna beat the Canadians.
Yeah, they'll beat the Canadians.
I think they're beating the Ducks.
Beating the Ducks.
And then I've got a weird feeling about some type of weird OT loss to Vegas. That seems to be a thing that the Kings are into a lot of times.
Yeah, that happens.
A
Maybe they'll be good
shootout.
in OT this season.
That would be
I'm gonna
cool.
give
I mean,
I'm gonna give them the win in OT.
OT win. Okay. So yeah, I think it's gonna be like I think they're gonna have like a 4-2-1 or something. That'd be a decent trip. That'd be really good.
Yeah, that sounds just about
I
right.
would take
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Um, asked some people a week ago on X, formerly known as Twitter, and a lot of people had some pretty pessimistic 0-7.
I know I saw it was pretty brutal. I was like,
Everybody
man,
was
damn.
pretty down on this road. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I mean,
And that was right. That was during preseason. I mean, they played some games, so
yeah. All
wow,
right.
yeah.
Update from San Diego, top of the ninth. Dodgers 8, Padres 0.
Yes.
That was one thing that had a bit of a had a bit of a bad night last night after that ass whooping.
That was
Well, it
pretty
wasn't
sad.
really an ass whooping. It was 6-1.
No, just
They got up
hmm
6-1. They made that cool comeback, and at some point, I just it hit me. I was like, you know what? They're gonna lose 6-5.
yeah.
That was only in the fifth or sixth inning. I was like, you know what? After that cool comeback, they're gonna end up losing 6-5.
Hmm.
Sure enough. But hats off. I was talking some major trash on the Dodgers on Twitter last night, and I didn't think they had this in them to do this tonight because they just these last three they haven't had that kind of fight.
Hmm.
Um, they didn't force a game five against the Padres 2 years ago. When and they were winning that game, and then they blew it at the end.
Awful.
Last year, the Diamondbacks they just smoked them in game one, and then that was it. The Dodgers didn't even win a game, right? So they haven't had a whole lot of like fight back moments. But this is
Hmm.
definitely. I mean, obviously they still. I mean, game five is anybody's game. Seems like there's a lot of Padres that like hitting in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, and also running their mouths.
Oh, and also, I mean, the Padres, they're a good team. I tip my cap to them and stuff, but they do kind of have a clown factor that
Hmm.
can't be denied. I mean, even if you're objective and that all got started by that Profar guy who robbed Mookie of that home run and then didn't throw it
Hmm.
back to the infield, just to be a
Hmm.
clown. And then they're like,
Hmm.
why is everybody throwing stuff? And also not to excuse that, because if you're throwing stuff at Dodger Stadium, you're a moron.
Yeah.
You should be
Al-
banned.
Also, if you're like spending $20 on a tall can, you throw it out onto the field. I mean, what the? I mean, come on.
I mean, I could see maybe throwing some nachos, maybe some hot queso might blind Tatis Jr. for a couple of innings.
Or if you could like really, tag somebody with a bag of peanuts. You
But
know?
they've got some unlikable dudes. I mean, principal on that list is Machado. I didn't even like
Mhm.
him when he was on the Dodgers.
Mhm.
That's how unlikable that dude is. When he was on the I did not. I hated him on the Dodgers, and now I just hate him even more on the Padres. But I mean,
Maybe Padres fans hate him too.
that is the I want. That's a good question. Padre fans, do you also secretly hate Machado? Because I mean, I can't just be me. The guy is massively hateable. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Game five, good on the Dodgers, and get it done. I mean, yeah, you got game five at home. You got to do it, man.
For real.
Enough screwing around.
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna give you
All
in a
right.
little segment called "Only One May Remain." Wish I had like a cool.
You need Echo.
I need a cool. Only one.
Mhm.
Kind of like when Coney used to do in the year 2000.
Yeah,
You know,
I can sing it. Sing it super high pitch.
still a great segment after all these
I
years.
know. Mhm.
Uh, only one may remain. Black flag, minor
Okay.
threat, bad brains.
Oh, wow,
Only
that's
one may remain. Black flag, minor threat, bad brains.
that one.
It's a tough one.
I gotta go Bad Brains for sure.
Okay, so you're keeping bad brains over black flag and
Mhm.
minor threat.
Yeah, I mean, probably my second favorite band is Black Flag, but number one's Bad Brains. Greg Ginn and Dr. No are two of my favorite guitarists as well.
Bad Brain, they're kind of like a band that, if you haven't listened to them for like a long time, because when I was driving back the other day on that long drive, I listened to Bad Brains, and it's true, you kind of like, you forget how awesome they are.
Hmm.
With like their dub reggae and the reggae stuff and just all the killer
Hmm.
hardcore punk stuff.
Yeah. And then, you're like, whoa, Rock for Life came out in 1979.
Yeah, and it still sounds like so good for stuff that came out so long ago.
Hmm. I mean, it might sound like a little tame compared to today's standards, but I mean, to think that came out like in 1979,
Yeah,
it's
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 mind
pretty,
blowing. At the time,
yeah.
it's like, where did these guys come from? I mean, they
Hmm.
did. I have a hard time making minor threat cease to exist, though.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, for posterity, I feel like they really kind of were kind of the prototype for like hardcore punk.
yeah, for like the next 30 something years.
Yeah, I mean, like
Mhm.
that whole sound. I don't know. It's a hard one.
That's true. Yeah,
I would, I would pull the plug on Black Flag before Minor Threat. Just I don't know why. I mean, they have some classic stuff, but I think just the fact they went through so many singers, had all those eras and stuff, and like I don't know.
Yeah, you know, because like some of their later albums, just kind of like weird. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
yeah.
and for lack of a better word, and they just but that's the thing. Like, if you hear some like those live bootlegs of those songs, you're like, oh, well, these are they should have sounded on the record. But I just like Greg Ginn's guitar playing. Like,
No,
it's
he
so weird.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
he's definitely has a signature sound, and
yeah,
yeah, because
and even
um, yeah, I don't know. So you're gonna keep Bad Brains. I mean, that's a logical choice.
that
The
would
idea
be.
of Bad Brains not existing is terrifying.
Yeah, no, I actually saw like the Descendants, they covered Black Flag's My War like the other night, and I was like, well, that sounded really cool. And like, man, I wish like Black Flag would get like the real Black Flag would get back together and do something like that, but now that would never happen.
Yeah, I was just
But
reading something, some article or interview with Rollins, and he's like, "Yeah, he was never gonna do any music ever again."
yeah, I remember reading it was watching an interview with him for probably like in the early 2000s when he was calling it quits. He was like, yeah, I don't want to be some ridiculous old man on stage, like, making a fool out of myself pretty much. And I get that
But
for sure.
this is definitely a time though where like that's kind of gone by the wayside in a way because there's so many like old punks that just are still out there doing it.
I know.
You think like Keith
It-
Morris, like that dude's almost 70.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. And who would have thought you know, like the circle jerks, like I'm sure if you would have asked them like in 1981, oh, do you think, or yeah, Keith Morris, like, do you think you're gonna be touring and playing in 2024? Like,
But I'll be
no,
dead in
yeah,
2024.
no way, this band fucking sucks. Do something else.
And I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you can still do it, I mean, do it,
And people want to see it.
People
It's like,
do, man. People want to see it.
hmm
It's like, and it's not some sad nostalgia thing. It's like that, Peter Hook from Joy Division and New Order. He has this band. He goes out and he just plays all the banging songs from New Order and Joy
hmm
Division, and people just go nuts for it, man.
yeah,
The guy's, he's like a, fundamental like post-punk bassist, but
hmm
or just the fact that Johnny Marr goes out and tours and people just, the fact that Oasis is, getting back together. It's like I think Rollins' thing is he just wants to be a writer and he doesn't think he has anything to say like musically anymore.
yeah. I mean, that's true. It's like he doesn't play an instrument or anything, so he'd need like musicians around him, and
But
yeah.
I mean, but yeah, if they could get an original Black Flag, people would definitely go and see that. I'm sure.
Oh, sure. But yeah, Greg Ginn, he'll never like do anything with those guys. He's like, no, fuck them. I'm gonna do my own thing with these
Yeah,
dudes. Mhm.
exactly. It could never
He's like, they've
happen.
been riding. He's pretty much like they've been riding my coattails long enough. Like pretty much.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
think I think I may have to keep Minor Threat just because they kind of influence so many bands. And just maybe just for me, I think like that was really one of my favorite bands for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. They only have like the two records, but they're
They're just
both
like
so
great records.
they're probably, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about like the best hardcore albums ever, I
They're
mean, you
definitely
could make
way up there.
for sure. Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right, so um, let's move to another thing, and this is a little
Right.
thing that I like to call people do stuff wrong.
Gotcha.
Have you ever noticed that people do stuff wrong?
Frequently.
You know what I noticed, and let's see. I'd like to get your take on this. People go into the bathroom with cups of coffee.
Oh, that's disgusting.
They go into the bathroom with sodas.
Hmm.
They sometimes bring food into the bathroom,
Sickening.
place it on like a common table or something. I'm seeing these things in my own workplace. This is a prime example of people doing stuff wrong.
Yeah.
There's
They have
no
a phrase.
reason to ever bring anything into the bathroom.
Yeah. There's a phrase, Don't shit where you eat.
What's in it? Yeah, exactly. It usually refers to something else, but then even on the more literal level,
Yeah.
that's where it comes from.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
what do you bring? I mean, there's no reason to bring anything into the bathroom. I mean, what's
Yeah,
accepted? Like washing your hands, urinating, number twoing. I don't know. Brushing your teeth, maybe. I guess.
isn't that weird? See, that could I find that weird.
Brushing your
Where
teeth
like,
in like a public bathroom.
it, yeah, like when you're at work and somebody's brushing their teeth, and I'm like, okay, I get it, but like, I wouldn't even want my toothbrush anywhere near a public bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. I
Like,
do it sometimes, but the thing is, I don't put it anywhere. Like
yeah, I would. Yeah,
homies will come in there and they'll have like these bags, the plastic bags and all this stuff, but they'll put it on the counter. Some
mm,
floss there. It's like, no, you're making contact with the counter. It doesn't matter
yeah,
if you have a little bag.
mm,
I take a toothbrush, I put some toothpaste on it, and I just go in there, get out occasionally. But no, it's best not to do that. So
no, yeah,
that's
I
people
think,
you're doing it wrong. Don't do that. If you're listening, if you're watching this, stop doing that. Okay?
and like when I'm at work, 80, 90% of the day, there's a coffee cup right, maybe like, 5 inches from my hand at all time, but it goes nowhere near the bathroom. And even dudes who come into the bathroom and there's like, yeah, like a little shelf, and they'll put like their laptop or whatever and their coffee. I'm like, nah, dude, leave that at your desk, homie, and then walk
Exactly.
over to whatever corny ass meeting you're going to. It's like,
Exactly. Exactly.
mm,
And because, in our particular situation, there's a hallway and there are some actual tables where there's like some magazines and stuff. You could put your
oh,
coffee there for a couple of minutes, right?
yeah,
No
yeah.
one's gonna steal it. It's over there.
Mm,
It's not in the bathroom. You don't have to be a
mm,
disgusting pig who shouldn't be able to even function in society at that point. But these people are
yeah.
doing it, man. So people,
Mhm,
you're doing stuff wrong.
mhm.
Do you have people who are doing stuff wrong for us?
I actually do, and this one got me yesterday. Went out for a walk, and I want to see. I don't know if this is particular just to Redlands. Is it a SoCal thing? Is it an IE thing? But everyone here has like a fire pit or a little chimney in their backyard, or something like that, right? Like in the fall, the winter, they have a fire in their backyard. But don't do it when it's 102. Like,
I was going to say, why don't you remind, we do have listeners from all over the world.
yeah,
What were the high temps last week and early this week?
yeah, 102, 104,
102. I think we hit
106.
106.
Yeah. So I know people are like, but it's the fall. It's only, here for like a few weeks, especially in Southern California. We don't really have that much, change in season, right? From, summer to winter. But it's like, don't sit in your backyard when it's 91 at 8 o'clock and have a fire going, pretending it's not hot. It's just like insanity to me. So then, and you open your windows and you're like, oh shit, is the mountain on fire again? Or is it, oh,
Like,
everyone's
oh,
having
it's just Todd next door. It's having a
yeah.
bonfire. It's 105 degrees at 5 o'clock, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm all for people. And that's the thing too. I'm all for people I have one of those chimneys myself, but I don't, you know, got it going during a heat wave. It's
You
oh,
shouldn't even be considering having a fire in Southern California till it's almost Thanksgiving.
yeah,
And even Thanksgiving, sometimes you got to draw the line. It's like, well, it's
yeah.
85 outside,
Hmm.
and we're not having a fire. Sorry, you got to push it off into December.
It's
But those
just
are the
funny
things
how
that have to be
people
done if you want to do stuff right.
it's just funny how people will just be like, no, it's the fall. I got firewood. I have I have this fireplace. I'm gonna use
I
it.
was driving home and I kid you not, I saw like 5 leaves fall from a tree. And then when I saw that, I knew I had to get home and start a fire.
Yeah, it's just that you're doing it wrong, son.
That's a great example. I think we covered a
Mhm.
lot of ground here. And the thing with this, it's not to mock. We want to help people, you know?
Yeah,
I think if we do this
we're all,
enough, I think that we're going to make a lot of progress because during the pandemic, everyone's brain broke. we've forgotten how to interact and with other human beings, you know?
This podcast mission, more than anything, is to rebuild society.
We want to rebuild society. We want to
So,
see the Kings win a Stanley Cup
yeah,
again before,
mhm.
we die.
That's our mission statement.
But yeah, if we can help people stop doing stuff wrong, I think that would be great. So, if anybody has any comments to put down, we'd love to hear what you think people are doing wrong. And also, as we often do around this time, go Kings go. And this time we can actually say, go Dodgers.
Yeah, go
Let's get
Kings,
that
go.
game five.
Yeah, go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers and go Kings go. See ya.